Hello and welcome to Hidden Fields for the High Performance Persistence in Java. My name is Sven Ruppert and I will explain you in this series how to get with tiny, maybe unknown tools, really fast persistence solutions inside your Java app. Today we are talking about the part security, and if this is interesting for you, stay tuned. Persistence and DevSecOps, or security in general. Security is a really tough topic and I'm not covering all aspects here, but I want to highlight a few things if we are talking about persistence. For this, I want to have first a short overview what does it mean, persistence, in terms of where are all these layers that are not secure or can have security issues. If you're talking about let's say Kubernetes-based applications, then you have the application itself. It's a Java process. This will run on a Linux, and then this Linux will be wrapped in Docker, and the Docker image will be scaled inside Kubernetes. With every layer, we are introducing new technologies, and with every new technologies, you have the possibility that there are new security issues coming through. The composition of all these holes and all the security issues is the full composition of all attack vectors you have inside your system. So this is a very broad topic for sure, but if you're talking about persistence, we have mostly one thing that we just want to minimize, if it is Java related. So for example, you know that Java is not very good if we are talking about serialization. Serialization is one of the really bad things in Java in terms of security, because what could happen? It could happen that you are loading a binary stream, and then in this binary stream you have instructions that are just compromising your system. You have different aspects on this, and I don't want to highlight one specific one. I just want to say, if we are talking about serialization, then we have to deal with this part. So in general, it means if we're looking at this tech stack, for example, I explained right now this broad or briefly overview of this Kubernetes stack, then make sure that with every new technology, you're adding more possibilities for security holes. Reverse means if you're reducing layers, then you're reducing the amount of possible security holes. So less is good in terms of security, and mostly less is good for the topic performance, and both is what we want to have: secure, performant persistence. That means getting rid of all these layers will help us to make the system more secure. If we are able to remove the layer between the maybe Postgre, the inter-process communication to our process, and we are just dealing with internal persistence, then we have already reached one goal: less processes, less communication between them, and less security holes based on serialization. But serialization is a topic, and all solutions, or the most solutions we are talking or already talked in this series, is that you have to deal with this decomposition of your app model. So your app model is a graph, then you will decompose it, and then you will serialize it in some kind of binary stream or text. So it means smaller amount of components, not only more secure, it's easier to handle. So embedded persistence inside Java means that the whole TDD lifecycle is very easy to handle because you can just ramp up your stack with core Java, you can destroy it with core Java, and you don't have to deal with external stuff like Maven lifecycles or shell scripts or whatever. So this is easy. Easy means that it's fast as well. So if you just have to ramp up a Java process, this is mostly more lightweight compared to different external processes. So you are faster inside the development cycle, so it's easier for you to fix bugs in the same amount of time because the round trip time is just less time consuming. Data migration or data itself. So if you are talking about these systems and you have a backup, so it means you have some kind of binary stream, you have to think for every solution how to deal with security in terms of compromised backups. So you're just reading this stuff and then you have to deal with this data. So how you can, or what you can do with this. For example, if you're using Artifactory, then you can create generic repositories. Inside these generic repositories, you can have for a dedicated version of your program or development stream a set of binaries that are held there in an immutable way and as reference. So every time your CI environment is running this test suite, it could go to Artifactory as well, not only grabbing the Maven dependencies, it could grab the binaries for the TDD part as well, so that you have one immutable reference. The next thing is if you have to deal with long-term support versions and you have to switch between versions of your code, mostly means that you have to switch between app models. And if you have these binary streams just version to your development stream or LTS stream, then it's very convenient to hold them in a generic repository. Data-driven testing. This is more or less the same. If you're generating these binaries and holding them and you can just consume them, this is very convenient. And if you have this in a central place, it makes it easy to maintain. Compliance security issues. This is a topic. For example, for all these persistent solutions, you have to make sure that if you are talking about compliance, that all dependencies and subdependencies are using license that is okay with your project. So have a look, for example, with X-Ray to make sure that the license and even the transitive dependencies, the license there, that they are fitting to your project. And I saw a few projects that are just died because it was bad. The good thing is the solutions I'm showing here mostly are safe in this way. So I have checked it, but it's not guaranteed. So you have to check it by yourself, please. But mostly I'm checking it, and if I found something, mostly I'm talking about it. Security check of all dependencies. If you're checking all the tiny libs I showed you, some of them have a big dependency tree. And one of the solutions have a challenge with one of the dependencies since a few months already. That's not so nice. I'm not saying the name. I don't want to blame some of these projects. It could have different points why they are not upgrading a library. I will talk to them, but I'm not saying the dependency or the product here, because it's always changing. So if it is secure right now, you have to check it next month as well or tomorrow, because it could change every day. But every persistence library, and there's only one library that not fits to this. So all other libraries I know have to deal with serialization issues, and you will find some security issues over the time there, for sure. So that's mostly the case. There's only one that's the library MicroStream that has a completely different approach of serialization, and so far there are no known security issues. So if there is a security researcher here checking out this presentation, please have a look at this and test it. It would be really, really cool to know if it is really so safe as I saw it right now. So that is more or less this part. So what I have, Tooling. Tooling is one of the things that is sometimes mission critical. If you're talking about persistence layer and you're talking about this traditional relational or this is whatever object-oriented or document-oriented persistent layers, you have always to check what tooling is around. So if you're dealing with a Postgre, for example, then you have tooling to modify on the fly the data, the app model without ramping up your program. So you have additional tooling independent from your code that is able to maintain and modify the data. With these performance solutions, mostly it's in a way that they are focusing on the tooling of the persistence layer itself, but not on the tooling. So they're coding this one, but they have no resources because they are open source and they're tiny projects to build this huge amount of support utilities around. So have a look at this one. So how to migrate data from one schema to another one, and sometimes it's necessary to write your own tiny tool just to have a command line tool that's changing something or printing something out or whatever. Mostly it's not a big deal. So we are talking just about a few hours because you're just using command line tools to do it. Sometimes they have some toolings already that you can invoke. But have a look there if this is a critical point for you and how to deal with this one. So backup and restore, all solutions I showed so far, they're easy with backup and restore. Why? Because just the folder. So and inside this folder you can just make a copy of this folder, and if this is not good, then you're just deleting the folder and copying your backup in. That's it. So backup and restore with all the solutions I showed you, they are really, really easy. Talking about again about this security stuff. If you want to make sure, or if you want to test, if you have serialization issues, what you could do, you could use your library and do security payload testing. So generate, there are tools available to generate compromised binaries, and just search for these tools or ping me on Twitter and ask me on a private channel. I will show you, no, other way around. You can learn how to build these compromised binaries, and then these compromised binaries you should generate and store in a generic repository inside your development process and make security payload testing. Means you just try to load these compromised binaries and make sure that nothing is going wrong. And this you should do constantly. So have an eye on security payload testing. So mostly it's in a way that grabbing these binaries out of a repository, loading it into your interfaces, check if something is going wrong, and then this test result should be part of your build information. For this, you can use the combination Artifactory and X-Ray, because then you have the whole overview about the compliance, and you have the overview of known vulnerabilities, and you can store your security payload or your data, test data inside Artifactory as well as a dependency. If you want to try it, we have now this free tier. Check it out. Otherwise, I have an how to activate the free tier. Check on YouTube, and then you will find it easily. So this is more or less everything about security I want to say right now. I will talk more often about this in the near future. So just check out my social media and you will find it. So that's it. And try it by yourself. That's the best advice.